Let's talk about Megan 2.0. So guys, you remember a few years back now, that Blumhouse movie, Megan, came out, the little kind of android doll, and it became self-aware and it started killing people, kind of like a Chucky-esque type movie, where we have a little kind of toy doll and it comes alive, it just starts killing people, and it's all kinds of crazy. The movie kind of became a pop cultural zeitgeist moment. Remember, there's that scene in the movie where the Megan doll is going down the hallway and she's doing that like crazy, weird dance with her body, and it was creepy as hell, and people were mimicking it all over social media, on TikTok, on Facebook, and they were uploading their own videos trying to copy that, and it became part of the zeitgeist, and it basically marketed itself with that kind of just that one scene, and people were going crazy for it, and the movie ended up being better than it had any business being. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was great, and it's great to hear that they're coming back for a Megan 2.0. So let's jump into this article here. Let's break down some of the details about what's going on with Megan 2.0, the sequel, and let's see what we can learn about it. So this comes to us from comicbookmovie.com. Megan 2.0 reveals Megan's new look as director teases franchise's evolution ahead of Erotic spin-off. So yeah, it looks like we're getting two new Megan movies. So we're getting a sequel, Megan 2.0, a sequel to the first movie, and we're also getting a spin-off of this Megan kind of franchise, which is going to be like an erotic kind of spin-off, where one of the android dolls sort of gets sexually attacks people or something, like something really weird, but let's dive into it anyway. But yeah, erotic apparently, whatever that entails. So Megan was a bigger hit than expected in 2022, and Blumhouse is acting quickly to capitalize on the movie's box office success. Absolutely, keep the momentum going while it's still fresh in the zeitgeist. You need to capitalize on that kind of hype. Along with the sequel about the killer doll titled Megan 2.0, an erotic thriller spin-off called Soulmate is also in the works. So the best way to compare this, a movie came out recently with Megan Fox, and it was called Subservience. And basically, Megan Fox plays the role of an AI android robot, and it's basically a service robot. You buy it, she comes to your house, and she's an AI android, and she can, look after your kids, she can do chores. But this AI android that Megan Fox is playing, she gets like sexually attracted to the husband of the house, and she starts manipulating the husband. The husband kind of like starts having sexual relations with Megan Fox as an android, and then the android starts killing people, and it's kind of all this kind of crazy, and it sounds like what this Megan spin-off is going to potentially be kind of a similar movie to that. So, you could call it a new MCU or Megan Cinematic Universe. I kind of like that. Megan Cinematic Universe. Quote, I am terrified to imagine what that would mean. What is the Thanos equivalent? Star Alison Williams tells Entertainment Weekly, let's just keep going as long as they're interesting and each one has its own story to tell. I mean, when it comes to AI is now so prevalent in the pop culture zeitgeist, just in the zeitgeist in general. I mean, with like ChatGPT, with image generation, video generation, with all this kind of stuff that's going on in the world, AI is moving so fast, and it's such a compelling narrative to kind of talk about AI and the kind of the human psychology around the fear of AI taking over humans and kind of becoming the more dominant species in the world, and that kind of fear. Taking a movie and kind of playing on that psychological fear of AI, I think is a really compelling concept, and there's so many different directions and ways you could go with this Megan franchise, so I don't think they're going to be short of any content over the next few years. While the plot details are being kept a secret ahead of the sequel's release in theaters next year, director Gerald Johnston teases, quote, I had actually a different idea for the ending of Megan, which would have been interesting but probably not as satisfying. The good thing about doing a sequel is that I got a chance to expand on that idea into a longer narrative. So it sounded like he had an idea for the kind of the ending of the first Megan movie, but it never materialized, and he's now saying that the ending of what Megan was going to be, he's now using that idea in Megan 2.0. So the idea James Wan had fit really well with that, he adds. So it was just a really good marriage of those two things. It was really important that the sequel is a response to what people really loved about the first movie. There's going to be another kind of, there's going to be another viral moment in this movie. They're going to try and do it again, where like Megan is dancing or doing something that's going to kind of invoke the TikTok audience to copy something in this movie. Try and replicate that marketing and that kind of pop culture zeitgeist moment of the first movie. But if you can put that into the second movie, absolutely do it again. Why not? So, but also this evolving conversation of fear and that we have about AI is changing us and changing our children and changing society. Yeah, that was exactly what I was just saying. The whole kind of psychological aspect and the fear of AI and potentially where it's going to go in the next few years. You know, injecting that into movies is an interesting concept to see where it goes. So, in a way, Megan is a personification of all those fears. Megan 2.0 is very ambitious. I felt that the story should be bigger and increase in scale and scope, but it's still a minuscule budget compared to Marvel movie scale, the filmmaker notes. Yeah, these Blumhouse movies, they're made for pocket change in compared to like Star Wars, Marvel, DC movies. So, like, imagine a Marvel film or a Disney film is made for, you know, 150, 200 million. Blumhouse movies like this, these kind of cheap, low-budget horror movies, they're normally made 20, 30 million dollars, and they end up making, you know, 100, 150 million dollars. So they, you know, sort of 6-7 times their budget. So in the grand scheme of things, they make a lot of money from these low-budget horror franchises. And that's exactly why they're going full steam ahead with this Megan franchise, which makes sense. The site report goes on to explain that Williams serves as an executive producer on Soulmate, that being the erotic spin-off version of the Megan franchise. And then we've got these people here as well, which are involved. I'm not going to try and read their names. It's about the script and a story as well. So you can read the names here for yourself, guys, if you're interested in who's writing the script and the story as well. So, we've got other cast members here. Lily Sullivan from Evil Dead Rise. Oh, that's interesting. So the actress from Evil Dead Rise is going to be here. David Risdale from No Exit and Claudia Dumont from The Boys. Meanwhile, lead of the cast of the movie is said is about a man who requires... Let me say that again. Lead of the cast, the movie is said is about a man who acquires an android to help him cope with the loss of his wife, only for this robot to pull a fatal attraction. So yeah, it does sound a lot like that Megan Fox Subservient movie, where he buys a android to help him with his chores around the house, but the android kind of gets onto the fact that humans are emotional and starts to manipulate him with kind of like, you know, sexual escapades and stuff like that. And it sounds like that's kind of the avenue they're going here. This guy, he buys a android to help him cope with the loss of his wife, only for the robot to pull a fatal attraction. So the robot's going to start manipulating him with kind of like sexual attraction and desires and stuff like this. So it's going to be a very kind of erotic take on the Megan franchise, if you like. A more adult, mature theme to it, I guess. So we'll hopefully have more on that soon. For now, you can take a closer look at Megan's new look in the X post below. And we also have this first look as well, which is really cool. Our first look at Megan 2.0, which hits theaters in June the 27th. So we have this picture here. It doesn't really give us a whole look. It's just a picture of Megan the doll. We already know what she looks like. We've seen her in the first movie. And she's back there. She looks creepy as hell. Like, just the plastic face, the uncanny valley, the human, you know, that kind of human but not quite human, so it kind of looks creepy. The human mind, when we look at a human face but it's not actually human, if it's like plastic or CGI and there's something off about it, it invokes that kind of fear in the brain of that uncanny valley, uncomfortable kind of feeling. And that's the kind of feeling that I get when I look at this doll. It makes me feel like something's not right. There's something creepy about this. It's going to cause me harm. What's going on? And yeah, Megan definitely invokes those kind of emotions. So, Megan is a marvel of artificial intelligence, a lifelike doll programmed to be a child's greatest companion and a parent's greatest ally, designed by a brilliant toy company, robotist Gemma. Megan can listen and watch and learn as she becomes a friend and teacher and playmate and protector for the child she is bonded to. While Gemma suddenly becomes the caretaker of her orphaned 8-year-old niece, Gemma's unsure and unprepared to be a parent. Under intense pressure at work, Gemma decides to pair her Megan prototype with Katie in an attempt to resolve both problems, a decision that will have unimaginable consequences. Yeah, obviously Megan becomes sentient, starts killing a whole load of people. If you haven't seen the first Megan movie, I do recommend watching it, guys. It's a fun time. Like I said, a very Chucky-esque type of movie, obviously, but Chucky has the soul of a serial killer inside him. So it's a little bit different on that perspective, whereas this doll is obviously an android. I know the latest Chucky movie is an android movie, but normally the main story of Chucky is a soul of a serial killer, whereas Megan is an android instead. So it's a little bit different, but still pretty cool. So check out the first Megan if you haven't seen it, guys. It's really worth watching. Creepy as hell. Some great kills. It's a good little kind of horror movie. But that's kind of the information we have there. So there's going to be a Megan 2.0. And there's going to be a Megan erotic spin-off as well. So plenty of Megan content coming in the brand new Megan cinematic universe. Another MCU on the horizon, which is great. So guys, jump into the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. Are you looking forward to a Megan 2.0 and this kind of erotic spin-off version as well, I guess? Is this something that interests you? Did you like the first movie? And what information here stood out to you the most? I would love to hear your feedback on this, guys. As always, be sure to hit that like and become a subscriber of the channel if you haven't already. It goes a long way to helping out the channel and the content, so I'd really, really appreciate that. And I will see you in the next video.